What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Our mission here is simple: helping you build a high-performance AI workforce to automate your income and dominate the affiliate market. In today's video, we're diving deep into the exact blueprint you need to scale. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're not just talking about cool new tools, we are literally architecting the future of enterprise. We're going to lay out the blueprint for a business that basically runs on autopilot. A business that's not just more efficient, but actually intelligent. And it all starts right now.
Look, this isn't some far-off prediction. This is happening right now. We've hit a point where relying on manual processes isn't just a slow way to work, it's a genuine liability. I mean, just think about the sheer volume of data, the constant demand for instant, personalized customer responses, the complexity of it all. Human-led, repetitive tasks, they're the bottleneck. They're what's holding back growth, scale, and frankly, survival.
So this is the big question, right? The one every single leader needs to be asking themselves. Because while some companies are out there building these incredibly smart, autonomous systems, a lot of others are just struggling, crushed under the weight of their old, outdated models. And the gap between those two? It's not just growing, it's becoming a chasm. Today, we're going to give you the blueprint to make sure you're on the right side of that divide.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the problem, what we're calling the operational collapse. Then, we'll design the solution, starting with the brains of the operation, the intelligent automation engine, and the new digital workforce that runs on it. We'll give you a practical playbook to actually get it done, look ahead to the fully autonomous enterprise of 2030, and then wrap it all up with the final, universal blueprint.
Okay, so let's start with the breakdown. Why are things failing? Well, the traditional ways of doing business are under just immense pressure. You've got rising costs, you've got inefficiencies, and these insane demands for scale. And it's all creating these fractures in the very foundation of how companies work. And the pressure, it's coming from literally everywhere. Labor costs are through the roof. Little manual errors are just chipping away at your bottom line. All your important data is stuck in systems that don't talk to each other. And your best people, they're stuck doing repetitive tasks that drain their energy for, very little impact. Now, you might be thinking, hey, that's just the cost of doing business. Everyone deals with this. But that's where you'd be wrong.
See, what used to be manageable is now flat out impossible. This quote just nails it. The expectation for a non-stop river of content is a perfect example. You simply cannot meet that demand by just hiring more people. It doesn't scale. You need a completely new system, a new architecture. And this isn't just about marketing content. We're talking about sales, customer support, internal ops, everything, all at once. So, how do you build a system that can actually handle this new reality?
So, if the old way is broken, what's the replacement? Well, it all starts with the engine. And look, we're not talking about simple automation here. We're talking about a huge shift from systems that just do things to systems that can actually think. And this is where it gets really interesting. Think about old school automation. It's totally rigid. It just follows a script. If a customer email has a word it doesn't recognize, poof, the whole system just stops. It's a very fragile if this, then that kind of world. But AI-driven automation, it's completely different. It actually brings reasoning to the process. It's not just following static rules. It uses natural language processing to understand context. It adapts when data changes. And here's the kicker, it learns and gets better over time. It's not just a dumb tool, it's an operational partner. Now, to build this intelligent engine, you need a nervous system, something that connects every single part of the business. And that's where a tool like NN comes into the picture. Think of it as the central hub that lets all your different systems and AI agents talk to each other. But hang on, a lot of tools claim to connect apps. What makes a platform like NN so much more powerful than, the simpler options out there? That is a great question, and the answer really comes down to two things: control and complexity. First off, self-hosting is an absolute game changer. If you deal with sensitive data, this lets you be fully compliant with things like HIPAA and GDPR. Total control. Second, its node-based setup lets you build incredibly sophisticated logic. You can merge different data streams, you can loop through processes, create weights that last for weeks, not just minutes. And finally, for the tech teams, being able to just drop down into JavaScript or Python means there are basically no limits. You can build anything. That's the difference between a simple tool for tasks and a real platform for architecture.
So once you have that nervous system in place, you need the workers. And this is the next layer of our architecture: autonomous AI agents that can handle entire workflows. And yeah, in some cases, replace entire departments.
Okay,
I gotta be honest, when I hear AI agents for support, my mind immediately goes to those awful, frustrating chatbots that can't answer a single real question. Yeah, that's a totally fair point, and that's exactly why this quote is so important. We kind of have to erase our memory of those old legacy bots. Modern AI agents are a completely different species. They don't just follow scripts, they actually understand intent.
This right here is the new operating model. An AI agent perceives its environment. It reads an incoming support ticket or analyzes a new lead in your CRM. Then it thinks. It accesses its memory, understands the context, and plans its next move. And finally, it acts. It routes the ticket to the right person, drafts a personalized follow-up email, updates the CRM. See? This is not a chatbot. This is an autonomous worker.
Okay, I get the model, but what's the actual brain inside these things? What's the tech that lets them think? Right, and that's where we get into the nuts and bolts of large language models. As you can see here, you have different options for different jobs. A model like Claude, with its huge 200,000 token context window, is perfect for an agent that needs to analyze really long, complex documents. And a token is just basically a word or part of a word. So a bigger window means the AI can remember a lot more. Or you have Gemini, with its 1 million token window and real-time web access. That's perfect for research agents. A real architect chooses the right brain for the right job.
This all sounds amazing in theory. You've got your powerful engine, your intelligent agents, but I have seen these projects fail. They get bogged down in technical problems, they don't deliver the promised ROI, and honestly, they just create more problems than they solve. We need a practical playbook. We have to talk about the risks. You are 100% right to be cautious, and this slide shows exactly why. These are the traps where good automation projects go to die. Bad trigger logic makes workflows fire at the wrong time, technical glitches prevent systems from talking to each other, and not being able to handle exceptions. That means one weird email can bring the whole process to a screeching halt. Companies fall into these traps when they only focus on the tech. And that brings us to the most crucial point. The solution isn't just buying another piece of software. It's about designing a resilient architecture. A well-designed system expects exceptions, it has checkpoints for humans to jump in, and it's built to scale from day one. When you approach it like an architect, you don't just avoid the traps, you build a system that delivers real, measurable ROI. Let's look at a real-world example of that. The project management platform Reich helped one of its clients, a translation company, complete 23 projects ahead of schedule in a single month. And how? By solving a simple timing and notification problem across different time zones. That's a direct, measurable hit to productivity. And this one really shows the power of scale. A company called Border, they help people move to Portugal. They used NN to automate their main operational workflows. And the result? They went from a small side project to a six-figure business in just a few months. That isn't just efficiency, that is transformational growth, powered by automation architecture.
So these examples are incredible, and they really show what's possible right now. But they're also just the beginning. So where is all this headed? Let's jump forward to Vision 2030 and ask the big question. What happens when these systems are running the entire business?
The final destination is a state we call hyperautomation. And this isn't just about automating a few tasks anymore. It's a whole strategy that weaves together AI, data analytics, and automation into one single fabric. For example, in a hyper-automated company, predictive models might forecast a supply chain shortage. The system would then automatically trigger new orders and reroute shipments before a human even knows there was a problem. The workflows become self-correcting. The business effectively runs on autopilot.
An autopilot enterprise. I mean, that's a massive, almost intimidating idea. It feels impossibly complex. How do you even start to build something like that? How can we distill all of this down into a simple, core blueprint that anybody can use?
You do it by realizing that every single complex process, no matter how messy it looks, can be broken down into this one simple universal pattern. You'll see it almost everywhere. There is an input, a trigger like a new customer email. Then there's a decision. An AI agent analyzes the content, the tone, the urgency. Then there is an action. The system does something like routing the ticket or drafting a reply. And then, most importantly, there's the repeat loop. The system learns from what happened and gets smarter for next time. This is the fundamental building block. If you can master this pattern, you can automate absolutely anything.
And that really brings us to our final question. This is not about if you should automate anymore. That race has already started. The real question is when your competitors are running on autopilot, when their sales, their support, their operations are all handled by intelligent autonomous systems, what's left for you? What will be your competitive edge? It won't be the work you do, it'll be the systems you design. The future belongs to the architects.
And that is how you dominate the game with AI automation. If you're ready to stop trading your time for money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But more importantly, click the link in the description to join our global school community. Get the full blueprint and start building your machine today. I'll see you inside.